Good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Johnson. I am doing a pretend teaching lesson. Expect it to be silly and off base. I'm not going to do any more takes. I've done 2 silly outtakes and not on purpose. So here's hoping it goes well this time. So we have a problem today. It is the fact that numbers and letters should never mix ever. It's disgusting. Numbers are numbers, letters are letters, just like boys and girls. They're not supposed to mix. It just does not work. And oh, did you have a comment?
I was telling you to stop being your nose. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you so much for that. Try to focus because we do have a lesson you've got to get through. Thank you so much.
Yes, Mr. Johnson.
So yes, we are taking this very seriously. Not at all. Yes, so we have numbers and letters. For the numbers, they're very much like boys. See-through. You can see them. You know what they are. Number 10. We know what a number 10 is. That's easy. X. Just like girls. At least to boys anyways. Just like girls because we have no idea what's going on in there. Girls, I apologize. It's nothing personal. Boys don't know what's going on and we own that. At least the smart ones do anyways. Thank you so much. So, the challenge is, if boys get together, we can see a little more clearly what's going on. And if girls get together, well, they talk to each other. They work together so they can work themselves out. It works. Same thing with these numbers and letters. So, class, I'd like you to try and write the problem down. We're going to go it step by step. Will you please follow along? Did you come prepared?
No,
Why not?
I don't know.
That is a 7th grade answer right there. Thank you so much. So, we do have some extras. Okay, this one's missing our whiteboard. There's your whiteboard. And we do have some markers for both of you. Parents, never give markers to children this age, please. It doesn't go well. But for the sake of the video, you have your items now, and I'm doing this not just because it's slightly entertaining, but because you don't teach to an empty office unless you're doing a YouTube video. So, will you please copy this lesson down, which is backwards in my camera, so I'm going to turn it around for them. Okay, I need you to try to participate. Will you please try at least? Copy it down. There we go. Thank you very much. And we have a guest student that may or may not come into the camera or not. It's morning time. We've got daddy and mommy time. But I'm going to do this either way because this is important to me. Hello, little one. Hello. And here's our third student. She is from another class. She's decided to come say hi. This is Lily Ann. And goodbye. So, I'm going to pause it. All right, welcome back. I have sent the other student back to her class, where she should be, or so we hope. We never completely know, but we hope. And now, unfortunately, we have one student that has refused to do her work. She is only drawing, unfortunately, and she is very content with that. I have talked with her several times, so I'm going to move on since we are doing a class project. And then I will touch bases with her in a little bit and see if I can get her a little more involved. In the meantime, we do have our students that are doing what they should. She has written down the problem. It is very, very red, so it won't be very visible to you. But she has written it down. Now, she is following along, and we're going to work together to get this right. So, since we've already reviewed PEMDAS and what the steps are, can we add anything together in this problem?
You want me to actually answer?
Yes, you're my student!
Can we add the numbers together?
Yes, can we add apples and oranges together?
No, I meant on the other side of the equation.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Please let me know.
On the other side of the equal sign.
What does that mean?
Well, there's numbers on both sides.
Oh, so you have heard of moving them over. Okay, so she's a very smart student. She's got teaching from somewhere else. So I'm going to piggyback off of that right here. Yes, and yeah, that is what I would do actually, because some students actually do learn these things ahead in one school and then go to another school where they're actually learning it. So back to the lesson. So you're saying that in other schools you have actually been able to learn that you will move numbers from one side to the other?
Yes.
Yes! That is so right. So in this case, what would you move? What would you move?
I would move the 5
Okay.
on the right side, I would subtract that, so that goes away.
Okay, so you guys can see what she's doing. We are going to move the 5. She said subtract it. That is correct because the opposite of addition is subtraction. And that 5 is a positive or adding 5. We're going to subtract it to both sides as she has said. Again, I would normally let her do it. I want her to do as much of the work as possible so I can see what she's doing, how she can do it, and what to build on. But we would subtract that 5 out, and so we're going to rewrite the problem the way she's doing it so you can see it again. We have 10 minus 5 would be, we have a 5 plus 2x equals, the 5's canceled out. We have a positive x. So, before I just tell you everything, unfortunately we had our other student just throw her materials on the ground. I am not going to pay attention as a teacher shouldn't. So we are moving on. She is done, but she is not disrupting yet other than the fact that I'm letting her. Okay, student, thank you for being so patient. So what is our next step? What would you do as far as this goes? Oh, we've got another guest student. Hello, James. It's so good to see you in our classroom. Would you go on and watch the show in the other classroom? It's called SpongeBob SquarePants. Very educational. So, I will be with you next period. Have a good day.
Okay, we have to get the x's on the opposite side from the numbers.
Okay, so you have seen that before. So what is the steps for that?
Addition or subtraction.
Addition or subtraction. So we have 2 x's and 1 x. Which one would you like to move?
I don't know.
Which one do you like better, the 1 or the 2? Who's more popular in your group?
2.
The 2. So we're going to move the 2? Done. She said it, we're going to do it. So in this case, we have a 2x. What's the opposite of addition? Because it is a positive. Subtraction. So like we've done in reverse PEMDAS in the past, because I'm assuming that we've already gone over PEMDAS and the reverse steps, we are going to subtract the 2x from both sides. So we subtract 2x from both sides. And we should get, well, we have a positive 5 that's not really changed, so that will carry down. We have plus, 2x minus 2x. Unfortunately, they cancel out. They are gone. Goodbye, 2x. And then we don't need that plus anymore because we just have our equal sign. And x minus 2x, we've got a negative, x minus 2x, we have a negative 1x. Well, there's a problem with that. We want to know what x is, not negative x. So there's one more step on doing it this way. Again, I'm going back to the analogy. Boys are see-through. We know what they are. They're obvious. They say, I want to go play kickball. They're not thinking about a way to find a friend. They want to go play kickball. Whereas girls, they are a total mystery to boys, and we're going to keep it that way because they are wonderful that way. So the x, we don't like to deal with girls when they're really angry, upset, and negative. We like to deal with them when they're positive, upbeat, and really supportive because they are the best friends you will ever meet if they are having a good day. If they're having a bad day, watch out. Be very nice to them and be very careful. Again, not trying to be sexist, just telling it the way it is. So, she agrees. I actually got her to pay attention. This works. It's working. So, and they are sharing notes. This is a positive situation. If we have a negative x, we can either do it the long way or, little secret, how many x's do we have? How many x's do we have?
Negative.
Well, how many do we have? Negative 1, negative 2, negative 5, negative 10. 10?
1.
We have a negative 1. We have a negative 1x. We just have one of those negative x's. So, if you see close, we can put a 1 in between that negative x. We can divide out. We can divide it out. Oh, very nice, James. I am sorry. You do have to go back to your classroom now, so thank you so much. So, in the side, we have a negative 1x. We can divide out the negative 1 because it's right next to the x. It's multiplying it. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 1. Again, I would try to have them figure it out, But for time's sake and, again, distraction's sake, we are going to go and move forward as far as that goes and show them a way to do it. In this case, we divide both sides by a -1. -1 divided by -1 is a +1. But we don't need to have 1x anymore. We got rid of our negative. That 1 can just disappear. Okay. On the other side, though, we have a 5 divided by -1. A positive divided by a negative is?
Positive.
You're close. A positive divided by a negative is?
Negative.
Yes, you got it! And yes, I actually do this with my kids. I try to keep it upbeat, and if they get it wrong, totally bomb. No, you're close. What is it?
I don't remember.
A positive divided by a negative is?
Negative.
Yes, see, she learns so well. It's great. So, a +5 divided by a -1 is a -5. And unfortunately, boys are naturally negative sometimes. It's usually when they're playing video games and you try to bug them. But it is true. So we have a -5 equals x. But there was an easier way, and here's the trick. I'm going to go back. Now that we know that x equals -5, normally there's one more step, but I'm going to go back because there was one way easier. Wait, there's about 5 ways for every problem. There are usually at least 5 ways to do every single problem, sometimes more. So I'm going to show you an easier way to do this problem. See that? The 2x and the x? There are ladies of this problem, and you always, always, always put the ladies first. When they say, open the door for a lady, you do it. When they say, ladies first, you do it. In this case, we want the x's taken care of first. If we do that and take away the single x from both sides, instead of trying to worry about the numbers first, all of a sudden we have a +1x with that 10 and that 5. And we don't have to divide by a negative. If you forget that trick, find which side has more x's, which has more ladies. That usually is where all the ladies will end up anyways. If you go to a dance, they gather, they cluster. Wherever the cluster is, it grows. It doesn't decrease, it grows. So with letters, same thing. Whichever has more, that's where you want to keep them. You don't want to break the cluster up unless you're trying to get a dance. You want to actually get them together. So in this case, a 2x minus x from both sides. We have 1x, and they're not paying attention, but I know I'm taking too long, so I'm wrapping it up. Hi, hello again.
Sorry, she's throwing stuff.
Okay, you're not being appropriate. You need to keep it under control. Will you please work on that for me? I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So, if she's distracting, just raise your hand, ignore her, whatever will help you. Thank you so much for paying attention. Okay, don't throw the supplies. I appreciate it. We're going back to this now. So we have, I said don't throw the supplies. That is not okay in our class. Thank you so much. If you're not going to throw them, if you are going to throw them, I am not going to give them to you. And you will have to follow along without them. Thank you so much.
Here.
So, we go back to the lesson. Again, I apologize. So, we have a single x. We have a number and another number. We have a +10. It's not negative, it's positive. So, to cancel it out, we have a -10 and a -10. X stays there. The 10s cancel out. The 5 minus 10 will make it a -5. It worked out the same way. So, the last step, the most important step, you take that -5 and you see if it works in for x. For everywhere there's an x, you're going to put a parentheses with a -5 in there. The reason why is, if you got the right answer, it's going to work out. If you got the wrong answer, you're going to have to go back because it will not equal. But again, if you put it in there, let's try it out. Let's try it out. I have a tiny whiteboard. I'd leave the notes up if I could. So, we have 10 plus 2 times a -5. What's 2 times -5, class? Yes, I'm going to keep you paying attention. I know you're spacing off, but I need your help. What is 2 times -5?
-10.
Yes! So we've got a -10 here. And on the other side, we have 5 plus a negative 5. What's 5 plus negative 5?
0.
Yes! See, she already knows this. She is that good. I am very lucky to have a student that was already taught stuff that we're going over. Thank you so much for coming. So, now, what is 10 minus 10?
0.
Oh, wow. See, she's got this. 0 does equal 0. It works. Negative 5 does equal x. We found our answer. Men have a little more understanding. Thank you so much. If you have more questions, yes, I am silly. I try to connect, but it's also very hard to teach people behind you. So thank you for understanding. And I really hope to hear from you very soon. If you have any questions, please email me, and have a good day.